After our stay in the Grand Canyon, we were ready to get a little bit warmer and out of the pine forest and take a look at some of the more desert areas around northern Arizona. And to do that, we went down off the south rim of the Grand Canyon on 89 North and followed that highway, enjoying the scenery and the canyonlands along the way until we got to Page, Arizona, where we made a quick stop to resupply everything at a Walmart, get gas, and some auto part things that I needed for the van. At that point, we turned back around and headed towards 89 Alternate. We were on our way to Badger Creek Campground, which is near the Marble Canyon area and what area known as the Vermilion Cliffs National Monument. And as you can see right there, those are the Vermilion Cliffs. To get there, we had to follow 89A. As we followed 89A on our way to Badger Creek Campground and the Vermilion Cliffs National Monument, the only way that we could get there was to cross the bridge over the Colorado. And this is actually the location of Lee's Ferry. After a short distance over the bridge, we finally found the gate to get into the campground. Marvy was elected to do the easy job of opening the gate while I had to sit comfortably in the van and drive it through the gate. These are the Vermilion Cliffs behind me. Over yonder, about a little bit under 2 miles, is a turnoff to get into this area. It's not easy to find. We're going to put the GPS coordinates down below. It's just a little tiny gate, completely unmarked. You got to open the gate, be sure to close it. And it's got a little bit one rough spot, but I can tell you the truth, we had no problems with our extended bed on our Chevy van. So most of the comments up above are correct. This is the road coming into it, and I'm going to spin you around. This is the end of the road. It flattens out and there's room for probably 4 or 5 larger campers. If y'all are friends or you're exceptionally polite, this works out just fine. There's 1 or 2 little places to pull over along the way, but this isn't a lot. It's just bare bones, dry camping, and but you can't beat the scenery, folks. So there you have it. Camping only about 30 or 40 feet from the edge of the canyon, we decided to take a little stroll down a path and follow it to the very edge of the canyon. This is called Marble Canyon, and then the side canyon actually is called Jackass Canyon. However, below here, when we get to the overlook, you can look directly down onto Badger Creek Rapids, which is one of the first set of rapids on the Colorado River after the dam, the Glen Canyon Dam. But I was able to get to the edge here and take some pictures, and lo and behold, there were a group of rafters camping for the night at the base of the rapids. It was great to see the group of people way down below having a great time cooking dinner, enjoying their company, and getting ready for the next day of full rapids. But speaking of the next day, we finished up doing some photography, had a great dinner, went to sleep, and were greeted with a marvelous sunrise. Well, here we are. It's morning. The sun's just starting to break over the horizon or from the cliffs in front of me. Behind us are the Vermilion Cliffs. I have to admit, this is one of the most impressive campsites I have been to in a long time. It's not remarkably beautiful. It's flat. It's arid. There are heavy winds at times through the night and sometimes during the day. Very few people. There's rattlesnakes, dust. It's not Jackson's favorite because the gravel is hard for him to walk on. He can't use his border collie energy to play and run. It hurts his feet. If he goes off the gravel into more where the plant life is growing, there's cactus and stickers and thorns that get in his feet. So probably for him it's not the best site. But for Marvy, both Marvy and I enjoy this a lot. It's just perfect. We've been here for a week. We'll probably stay here till Saturday morning. I will finish teaching up a couple classes, and then we'll head. I think we're not going to go north to the Grand Canyon. It's just a little bit too remote for Wi-Fi and cell, and I need those for teaching. So I think we're going to go up through Utah and then around to Vegas. But more about this campsite. It's just, we found it using freecampsites.net, and I will put the coordinates down below. The GPS coordinates on how to find it. The night before, we were too tired to pay attention to the sunset, and though we woke up to a beautiful sunrise, we were able to catch this magnificent sunset also. But the next morning had a surprise for us. Yeah, so we had this little snake sharing the campsite with us for the full 7 days that we were there. And he would come and go as he pleased. He lived just right off the edge of the campsite. And one night he actually came within about 3 feet of us in the dark while we were having dinner. But harmless little fella. He was just doing his thing and we were doing ours. I can say I've had much worse neighbors than this little guy. But it also made me wonder, being a snake, I wonder what it looked like from their perspective going through the desert. Okay, so we're going to show you some pictures and a little video of just some scenic area. So grab a donut and a cup of coffee and enjoy this little short montage. Well, this concludes a full week of having a wonderful time at this campground. Join us next week where we're going to go to the Glen Canyon Dam, Lake Powell, Horseshoe Bend, and Page, Arizona. Should be a lot of fun. Again, thanks for watching our videos. We appreciate all of our patrons that support us on Patreon. And for everyone else, just be sure to like and subscribe and maybe share the videos on your Facebook or with your friends. Until next week, we'll see you then. Bye-bye.